The Directors Guild of the Philippines Incorporated has strongly opposed Senate Bill number 2805, which seeks to expand the powers of the MTRCB to regulate online streaming platforms. DGPI maintains that streaming content is primarily consumed privately and should not be classified as public exhibition. The group argues that the bill unfairly targets creators across film, television, and streaming services. DGPI, or Directors Guild of the Philippines, is now calling for careful consideration to protect their rights. And to discuss this further, we are joined by Meily, President of the Directors of the Guild of the Philippines. Welcome to Morning Matters.
Hi, good morning, Gresham. Thank you.
Okay, so Senate Bill 2805 has been put before the floor, and MTRCB head Lala Soto says there will be no censorship, but just child protection. Do you think that is possible?
Very weird yung comment na yun. First of all, when you say there's no censorship, kasi yung definition nila of online streaming content is anything that is subscribed, online content. So even if I pay privately, that for them, anything that is can be accessed by the public, even if you consume it privately, is considered public exhibition. And then they have, we agree with the ratings, with the classification and the rating, except for yung X rating, because they can say that one content has an X, should be given an X rating, pero it not necessarily need to be pornographic or extreme violence. So they will tell you that even if you're an adult, you are not allowed to watch that, even privately on your own phone. Pag X siya. And I'll give you a good example. Last year, a movie named called Alipato at Moog, which is an award-winning film sa Cinemalaya. When it applied for an MTRCB rating, it's a political film. It's a film about the disappearance of Jonas Burgos and the story of his mom. It was given initially an X rating. Can you imagine?
What could have been the reason?
Kasi hindi daw balance yung portrayal ng military and so on. And nothing in the film that was shown is not available or has already been screened publicly sa news. So all of the topics there were already, it's just that they curated it and they created a documentary out of it, and suddenly it gets an X rating.
So it was not...
They had to apply for a second review for consideration, and then it passed. So it was given, I think, an R16 rating. But that's an example of yung overreach. Na parang, who are you to tell me, as an adult, what I can and cannot watch? So, privately.
Pero sabi nila dito, there is no mandatory viewing of the content before its release. It is just aiming to give the government power to respond to harmful content involving child abuse, exploitation, or voyeurism.
Very tricky. And it's something that initially I didn't want to go to because it raises bigger questions. The top streaming platforms right now, YouTube, Netflix, even Facebook, and all the others, Amazon, they all have their own
internal
systems. Well, it's not exactly, but basically they try to regulate their content. It's just in a way self-censorship. So they already have the algorithms to notice if there is a human breast or a sexual activity that's happening right now already. And they have people who will monitor this, fina-flag siya. And then even if it goes online, people, the audience, can still make a comment. So may feedback system na already in place. They have the technology, they have the people, they have the budget.
But what about certain streaming platforms that have a tendency to show bordering pornographic content? But how about that? And they're making a lot of money.
Kasi all of these streaming platforms, as I said, for example, if it's an adult streaming platform, you cannot access that. You cannot even subscribe to that if you are under 18.
Pero you can just fake your age, di ba?
You have to have a credit card. The credit card has data already of your age, even if it's a wallet. So meron siyang data.
Hindi ba e-wallet lang yan?
Hindi, hindi.
Magbabayad ka ng
Pag ano,
e-wallet?
it still has to go through that. And then, if you read the bill, there is a provision there that says that we want to protect our children kasi we are not sure kasi baka meron daw children who will try to sneak in and access adult content. So then it becomes the MTRCB cannot be the parent, cannot be the default parent if the actual parents are not doing their job. So for example, nakalagay dun sa ano, it's not anymore a content issue but a trust issue. Kung hindi mo mapapagkatiwalaan yung anak mo, then the problem is you. Because you cannot be a good parent. You cannot expect and who is the MTRCB to say that we know what good parenting is. Not all of them are parents. Not all of them have experience of becoming parents.
How about the MTRCB trying to force or empower the local streaming services to strengthen also their controls over who gets to access their content? Is that a better solution? Because also, if you take a look at the law, there is RA 9775, which defines any production, distribution, possession of pornography, particularly child pornography, as illegal. So if you have content bordering on that or near that already, di ba, lumulusot, nakakalusot dito, paano mo naman paprotektahan yung mga bata?
Iba yung ano let's all agree that the Directors Guild of the Philippines is against exploitation. It's against any form of abuse. We also want to protect our children, di ba? But yung overreach ng MTRCB na, no, we will be the guardians. Okay, we know what the exact standards on what the child should watch or cannot watch. Even the flagging systems, medyo ano yun it will have an opportunity to be abused. Pag hindi ko gusto yung nag-upload yan, I will just keep on sending complaints to the MTRCB. And then, of course, it's going to be dismissed later on. Pero you already have that system, the flagging system, with YouTube, with Facebook, and even Netflix, all of the streaming platforms. So, redundant na. But the thing is, there's a provision na dadagdagan nila yung, because of these additional powers, dadagdagan nila yung budget. So it's just a waste of taxpayers' money. So ang bigger question here is, if all of these platforms already have these systems, these feedback systems, and this technology has evolved. The bigger question is, at this point, is the MTRCB still relevant when it comes to the digital space?
What do you think is the ideal setup here?
As it is, we're okay. What we have here, you know, anything that's being shown in the cinemas, anything that is being shown on television can be regulated. It's just yung ang ano namin yung ang issue namin is yung overreach doon sa sa privacy. They can say what is X-rated or not. A documentary, a political documentary is suddenly X-rated. There is a movie last year called Dear Santa, which was originally called Dear Satan. There's nothing sexual or violent about it. It's a comedy. But it was given an X rating twice. Why? Because of the title. And then ang argument ng MTRCB is because in the story, it says that the devil can be a good person if somebody teaches the devil to do something good. And that cannot happen in real life because in the Bible, the devil is always bad.
Okay.
So now, yung topic, pati yung subject, nagkakaroon na ng opinion yung MTRCB. So it was bad.
Would you know how many people in the MTRCB, come together to decide on those
There are at least three reviewers for every film. So every time, and then they give their review, and then they will tell the producer their comments on it, and of course the classification.
Pero ilang tao ang nagde-decide?
Three at least.
Tatlo.
Tas pag
Three people can decide the fate.
Yes.
Of
Yeah. And you can imagine the production
millions,
and that's why we're saying it's detrimental to the Philippine film industry. Kasi one film, producing a film can take as much as 6-7 months, from development even longer. And then suddenly, in one screening, 3 people will say, I don't like the title, Dear Satan. That's bad Let's give it an X rating. Parang gano'n.
But do you agree that this is also a mechanism to get more views? As a director, how would you put the line between nudity that is art and nudity that is, for bordering on pornographic already?
You always look at the context of any film. That's a problem that we have with the MTRCB. They look at it per scene, diba? Oh, we are showing human genitals. Oh, but that's the statue of David in Italy, in Florence. So parang suddenly that can be censored, and that can be given an X rating. Something that there's this nudity at the Sistine Chapel. Dapat ba yun? Ise-censor na. So you have to look at the context. So if it's about religious, it's about the creation, it's about the biblical character, it's about the story needed that, then it's okay. Then that's not pornographic, di ba?
Well, the MTRCB actually said they are open to consultations on this bill, which is probably needing your input, of course, from the DGPI.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned that the local film industry is struggling with what is happening now.
Right.
Can you give us an idea of the landscape? Isn't that there a huge window of opportunity for local film producers and directors with all of these streaming websites?
The streaming websites is now becoming the mainstream. Philippine cinema is no longer the mainstream. The last movie that broke even, we're not even saying blockbuster, was during the Metro Manila Film Festival. From January to June, wala pang nagbe-break even.
Nag-break even sila through Philippine cinema, you mean?
Through Philippine
The
cinema,
mainstream, the normal way.
The only way that they break even is when they re-release it sa streaming platforms. So ganun ka struggling. Tapos there's a provision. We want to attract foreign producers. We're always losing to Thailand. Kasi we always say, we're good at English, but that's about it, diba? Parang we have the same beaches as beautiful, or resorts that they have also in Thailand. But why are we losing? There's a provision in the bill that says that if you're producing something and if you're exporting it, meaning you're going to screen it abroad or whatever, foreign production, they have to approve the content of that. So even if it doesn't happen yet, the idea alone will turn off a lot of producers. Oh, we don't want to go to there. We're not even airing this film or this show on the Philippines.
In Thailand, what guardrails do they have?
Wala silang as long as you do not attack the king. Very it's very transparent yung nila yung. And then, as what one of our members, si Quark Henares, said, who used to work for a streaming platform, he said, if you pass this law, it will be the strictest in Asia. I mean, in Southeast Asia. I mean, of course, Myanmar would be actually the strictest, but then we're gonna be next to Myanmar. I mean, it's not a good comparison, diba?
But how are cinemas, theaters doing now? Marami nagreklamo na masyadong mahal yung presyo.
Mahal, it's expensive.
Or are people just not going to theaters anymore?
People are not going to theaters anymore. I recently watched a blockbuster movie, supposedly, and the seats are not even full. No, the cinema is not even full. Tapos you could choose what time you want to screen. There's no line in the movie house. And it's a Hollywood movie. So you could imagine what more for Philippine films. The issue with the ticket is a different matter because ang stakeholders dyan is the exhibitors also. Exhibitors and producers. So ang hirap
Well, what is the golden path now for directors and producers? I mean, pag na-hit namin ito, siguradong magtatagumpay kami, jackpot kami dito.
For a movie?
Yeah, for a movie.
Well, one, it has baka break even lang siya sa ano. And of course, export. If we could show our films outside the country, it can have a bigger audience. Pero yung bill na yan has a provision that you cannot export it. Export is not even So if you're just showing it in a film festival, they have to classify it. They have to review it. And what if I'm going to show it at the Cannes Film Festival? Of course they can always waive. They can always waive. They can choose not to. But kasi for international film festival, but the law says they have the right to review it first.
So what is the perfect solution here? Just to
Gretchen,
leave it be.
Yes, and then sana kasi when they had the hearings, they only invited us once. In all of the other hearings, the key stakeholders were not invited. If they want a discussion, then why don't you invite the stakeholders?
This seems to be a long discussion. Hopefully, it doesn't end up in drama. Thank you very much,
thank you
Direct
very
Mark,
much.
For joining us today and giving us your insights and your mind on this matter. That was Mark Meily, President of the Directors Guild of the Philippines, commenting on Senate Bill 2805.